Welcome to another edition of Blades Hockey. I'm your host for the evening, John McDonald, accompanied, as always, by my partner, Coach Justin Neppel, as we settle in here for a big one tonight, Coach, in Stearns Arena here in Wahpeton, North Dakota. Some Section 6 Class A hockey. Big tilt here between the Blades and the Otters from Fergus. Your thoughts as we get into this one?
Yeah, so the last time these two saw each other was in the Holiday Classic over in Fergus Falls just right after Christmas, and Fergus Falls was the victor in that matchup, 4-2. It was a tightly checked match. It was very, very close. Shots were pretty even, but obviously, you know, the goalie duel went to Fergus Falls in that matchup, and Fergus was the better team that day. So. This is something I think the Blades are looking to get revenge here on home ice and see if they can even up and split with Fergus on the season.
An interesting, I think, point in the season for both teams at the last meeting is I feel like maybe the Blades kind of took off after the holiday tournament. Up until that point, I think they maybe had 1 or 2 wins on the season. They didn't get a win. They did tie Shanley, but didn't get a win. But played some of the best hockey to date, I felt. Just weren't rewarded for it. And I thought they played very well against a pretty good Fergus Falls team at the time. And then after that, kind of went on a bit of a tear. I think rattled off 7 or 8 wins in maybe 9 contests. And kind of started to turn their season around a little bit. And now sitting at 10-11-1. Fergus, on the other hand, I played a little bit different schedule, but maybe had a few missteps along the way since that time. Certainly got some nice wins along the way, but also some pretty big losses, and then maybe some unexpected losses in the way of losing to Mayport.
Yeah, I think that was one game, and again, Crookston, a team that we lost to 5-0, Fergus lost to 5-0 about the same time. I think both instances, both programs assumed a different outcome in those games. As Crookston's not really playing great hockey down the stretch either. But yeah, Fergus Falls kind of stumbling there a bit, and about the same time the Blades were looking to fire up and were playing some of the best hockey all season. Now they've kind of tripped up here down the stretch a bit, losing some games here. Becker Big Lake was on Saturday. That ended up in a loss for them, and I think maybe a period or two they would like to get back that game, where they just weren't as sharp as they probably should be. I think they played a great third period, but it just wasn't enough to come back.
Yeah, too little, too late.
Too little, too late. From what I could see, I wasn't able to be at the game. But, a big win against Wadena, but, a tough one last week that they just couldn't overcome, and they just seem to be up and down in the win column.
Yeah, Blades, kind of like they've been all year. At times they look very, very good, and at times they don't. And at times they're rewarded for their efforts, and sometimes they look pretty good and they're not rewarded. So it is tough to take anything real valid away from their record, and unfortunately, you don't know what you're going to get. I would anticipate in a game like this tonight, you're going to see some of the best hockey. I think they're really getting up for this one. We're getting down to the wire where Section 6 wins matter when it comes to seeding. I think you're going to see that from both programs. Fergus, as much as they may have struggled here down the stretch at times, they're not going to come in here flat. No. This is a point of pride. They, the town's being so close, they're not going to want to come in and drop a game to the Blades. They're looking to get maybe things turned around a little bit on the right path here as they're heading into the section tournament. And I think it probably starts for them tonight a little bit here.
Yeah, and Mike Donahue is a good head coach over in the Fergus program, and he's going to make sure that they're ready to go for a Section 6A game. He's not a stranger to these matchups at all. Fergus Falls did beat Wilmer last night, another 6A team, and I was watching part of that game, and Wilmer did everything they could to win that game in the third period. They played the whole end whole third period in Fergus's end, and Stenstrom did a great job of keeping the puck out, and they're able to come out 2-0 in that game. So they're looking more like that. Looked like a playoff game there. They were meaningful. Wilmer was coming at them in waves, and Fergus stood up and held them out, and they were able to come out on top. So I think it's playoff hockey right now starting, and I think that's what we're going to see here again tonight.
Yeah, one big loss of note for the Otters is number 28, I believe freshman Colin Alt. is out as he broke a bone in his foot in the Sartell game. Just chatting with Coach Mike here before the game, said he kind of just got mixed up in the boards, and he wasn't even quite sure what happened, if a player had fallen on him or what happened. But a tough loss as Colin had stepped up big for the Otters at points this year. Plays a real physical game. He's kind of in your face. He's got a little bit of that get under your skin mentality, and he can certainly score too. So that's a tough guy, especially this time of year as you're going into playoff style games or actual playoffs. It's a tough guy to lose in your lineup.
Yeah, it's a conversation that you have with players. Like, if you can't find the puck in the back, if you can't get the puck in the back of the net, you got to play physical. And some guys just lack that, but Cullen Alt came natural to that. You wanted to play that physical game. And I think at times when we did play him, or in Fergus Falls earlier this year, you could tell when he was out on the ice. He was not holding back. He finished checks, and he finished them hard.
So we wish the alternator a speedy recovery. And obviously he's, I would assume, maybe done for the rest of the year, unless he really just, I don't know, grits his teeth and puts a skate on and says he's just going to go. We'll see. I guess I don't know what the timeline is, but assuming he maybe is going to get shut down here for the rest of the year, we'll see. But anyway, speedy recovery to Colin Alt. What do we know for the Blades tonight? Anything special? Are we going with some of the same lineups or the same lineup, I should say, we saw on Saturday?
Yeah, I guess I just asked my son, are you skating with the same line? And he said, yeah, and we didn't really get too much in the conversation on what the other lineups were. It was very, very much in passing. We didn't really get a whole lot or a big chance to talk, but it sounds like it's going to be very much the same what we've seen, with maybe hopefully a different result with some scoring. Again, like, I didn't watch the Becker Big Lake game, but the Isaiah Brusher, Kai McDonald, and Mikey Peterson line has been very, very close. They're able to get the puck out of their own end. They're able to get the puck down low, get into that cycle, and they're getting the puck to the front of the net.
I think they've been the Blades, even going back to the Crookston game, the best forechecking line for the Blades.
By far,
and yes. I want to say the most responsible defensively, too.
Yep.
The top line certainly has been scoring, but sometimes lacking a little bit of responsibility in the D-zone.
D-zone, and then at times I think their forecheck is a little bit lax, where taking away time and space is a big deal, especially against skilled players. And so, like, it's not going to be any different here against the Fergus Falls Otters today. There's going to be skilled guys out there that they're going to have to match up again and take away their time and space.
And then the Blades had moved on to starting to play a third line more consistently, where Jack Ekron has assumed center duties on that third line, and he is accompanied by right wing Brennan Ritter and left wing Cam Spinks and or Kason Pinstenolt at times.
Yeah, and I think that's something that had to happen. You saw the Blades going 1-2, 1-3 for a stretch, and it was working. But then I think that top unit just got tired, and then you see the D-zone lacks it. That energy has to be used somewhere else, where instead of doing a forecheck, hard on a forecheck or hard in the D-zone, you're worried about scoring. So,
all right, we're going to turn things over to public address announcer Scott Nicholson.
The instrument.
Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to the Ella Stern and Harry Stern Arena. Our game tonight is a Minnesota high school varsity contest featuring the visitors on the scoreboard, the Otters from Fergus Falls, and your home team, the BW Blades. A goal of high school sports is learning lifetime values. Sportsmanship is one of those values. So please, help us make this contest a positive educational experience by demonstrating respect and proper conduct. Feel free to support your team, but please refrain from using obscene language or inappropriate behavior. Thank you in advance for supporting our student athletes. Now, let's meet the players. First, for the visitors, the Fergus Falls Otters. Goaltender, number 1, Holden Stenstrom. At defense, number 4, Brant Schurman. At defense, number 24, Chase Johnston. On the left wing, number 26, Coulter McGinnis. On the right wing, number 2, Caden Zender. And at center, number 7, Luke Johnson. Head coach for the Otters is Mike Donahue. Assistant coaches are Peter Johnson and Isaac Young. Their goalie coach is Mike Alt. Next, we'll introduce our young skaters for this evening. On the ice this evening, we have representatives from our Mite teams, Team Pink and Team Black. These skaters are the future of our program. These young athletes represent the next generation of our hockey community. Let's show them our support and appreciation as they take this special moment on the varsity stage. From Team Pink, number 3, Dashel Holubuk. Number 4, James Agayev. Number 7, Luke Shanalik. Number 9, McCoy Miller. And from Team Black, number 3, Parker Edisvold. And number 5, Graham Thompson. And now, for your home team, the BW Blades. Our netminder is a junior, number 33, Cale Gilbertson. On defense, a sophomore, number 26, Jackson Brewer. On defense, a junior, number 4, Matt Peterson.
He's number 8.
On the right wing, a junior, number 12, Jackson Lopez. On the left wing, a junior, number 28, Easton Nepple. And at center, our junior, number 17, Grayson Casti. The Blades assistant coaches are James Bass and Bob Lane. Our goalie coach is Lucas Levescu. The Blades head coach is Adam Wurtzema. Okay, turn it down. We ask that you please stand if you are able and face the flag at the north end of the arena. Please help us honor our country and those who protect it by removing any headgear and placing your hand over your heart during the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Our officials for this evening contest, linesman Josh Can, referees are Brandon Beaudry and Camden Laban. These gentlemen are registered officials with the Minnesota High School League and have been chosen for their expertise. Please respect the decisions of our contest officials.
It's show.
All right, nice job, Scott Nicholson. Leading us up to puck drop here.
Here we go. So some players to watch here for the Otters, if you're not familiar with their squad. Number 2, Caden Zender. Number 7, Luke Johnson.
Yeah, Luke had 2 goals last night, both goals, or the only goals for the Otters.
Grant Showerman on the back end, steady defenseman. And then the youngster there, Chase Johnson, would be Bantam eligible this year if he chose to play Bantam, but starting the game on the blue line for the Otters.
Yeah, and I think he was a forward last year is what they were talking, or maybe he was a forward earlier this year, and he just transferred back.
Just kind of shows you what the coaching staff thinks of him, putting him on the blue line and starting the game. Blades with control. Peterson chips a wall, doesn't get out. He'll scrum it there near the Blades blue line. Casty comes back for it in his own end. Leaves for Brewer. He reverses it back around. Peterson takes it behind his own net. Works it up the half wall to Neppel. Neppel back through the zone. Hits Lopez on the wide wing. He dumps it in. Stenstrom will play it behind his own net. Plays to Sharman. Rims it up the wall through the wing. And now back on the stick of Lopez. Plays into the corner. Casty walks out. Tries to make a move to the net. Reverses behind the net. Quick out for Lopez. Had a look, but it kind of handcuffed him. And he doubled back. Now he plays it to the line. Brewer thinks about going D to D. Now back down the wall. Into the corner for Casty. Played behind the net for McDonald. And Johnson will get there first. Lopez swoops in last minute. Plays it down behind the Otter net. Shorman starts to play for the Otters. He gets it to neutral. Gets past everybody. And Brewer starts to play for the Blades. Plays it up to neutral ice for McDonald. Hits Brushard in the middle off the heel of his stick, and the Otters come back the other way. Taken over by Peterson. Played back to neutral. And it'll be controlled by the Blades in their own end. Brewer now with the puck. He's going to ice it, and we'll get our first stoppage. And that means we can take a look at our keys to the game.
Yeah, so one of the things that I think the Blades need to do is get to goalie Stenstrom early. He stood on his head last night and a game back-to-back. It's something that they could see maybe is leaky. Obviously, this has been a problem for the Blades all year, but stay out of the penalty box and then win the special teams. So when they do get on the power play, make sure that they make it count.
The shot on there from number 15, Tanner Donahue, finds its way in on Gilbertson. He squeezes it for another stoppage and first shot on game for either team. So it looks like Donahue will be paired with Krein on the blue line for the Otters. Akron plays the puck up to McDonald. He leaves for Brushart, and he'll play to Krein in the neutral zone. Krein fires one back down. Craig plays it behind his own net. Gets it up to McDonald on the half wall. He has trouble with it and is turned back. Now he comes across the zone. That gets through Peterson, and Donahue will retreat for the Otters. D to Krein, back up through the middle. Luke Johnson over the line. Fires on through a screen. Misses wide. Chip back across the zone. Johnson comes in. Heavy shot. Hit traffic in front. Played out in front. Blades with control. And chipped out to neutral before it'll be turned back. Luke Craig now flips the puck up the ice. He's going to get Casty. It's a 1-on-3 though. Can't get to the net. Zinder puts him in the corner. Puck will be controlled by Neppel. Shot back down by Peterson. And Johnston of the Otters will get the clear. Shot back in by the Blades. Zinder chips it back through neutral, or to be controlled by Easton Neppel of the Blades. Give and go play with Peterson, who has a little bit of trouble with it. Zinder takes the puck off of him. Both teams kind of trying to feel each other out a little bit here early in the going as the Blades are in too early.
Yeah, it does appear that, neither team really making any kind of everything's pretty risk-free at this point in time. Nobody's trying to make a rush. Nobody's sending a guy, so kind of just feeling each other out.
Yeah, a little bit of, maybe a little bit of sloppy play, a little bit of nerves here early probably for each squad as passes just aren't quite there just yet. Stenstrom stops that dump attempt and leaves for Thilke, who's hit by Ritter on a nice body check behind the net to turn the puck over. Puck played to the line. Now back down for Ritter. He leaves for Ekron, as this is, I wanted to say the third line, but it looks like Brushart's still out there. So Brushart may be doing double duty, and Ritter's going to take a penalty as he takes down Shorman in the corner.
Yeah,
And
so
Blades' first penalty of the game on a trip.
yeah, kind of an incidental thing, but more I'd rather see him play the body instead of the puck right there. You avoid the box. But here we are. We talked about this, the keys of the game, not get into the penalty box. This is where the Blades have struggled the most. They seem to be far more penalized than the teams that they're facing off against.
So it'll be Luke Johnson, Caden Zender, and Parker Thilke up front for the Otters, with Donahue and Krein on the back end. Casti and Neppel out there on the kill, with Brewer.
Period. Number 15, Brennan Ritter. 2 minutes for tripping.
Puck played back in a nice play by the Otters as it went from Donahue to Zender and then to the back door for a wide open Luke Johnson. And the Otters waste no time on the power play.
Yeah, a little caught little sleep in there, that backdoor play. Looks like the Blades are kind of moving in mud right now. Need to get their feet moving here.
This will sound ridiculous, but sometimes you give up the first goal, and all of a sudden now you don't have to play nervous.
Sure.
Like you're afraid of ruining something, so you can just go out and play because you're already behind. And now maybe things will loosen up a little bit here for the Blades. Isaiah Brushart chips the puck in to the corner, takes a hit.
Number 7, Luke Johnson. Assisted on the play by number 2, Caden Zender. And number 15, Tanner Donahue.
Puck played behind his own net by Donahue. Peterson hard on a forecheck, turns that over. Played to the front and just missed both Brushart and McDonald before it's cleared back to neutral. Mike Peterson now plays the puck to Brushart. He stood up abruptly in the neutral zone. Luke Johnson carries it in, and it'll be shot down behind the Blades net, or it'll be played over to Michael Peterson. He gets Brushart on the out, evades a checker, and does a good job to just get the puck down the ice. Chase Johnson will be the first man there for the Otters. And the puck is played to the Blades line and finally out. Peterson shoots it back in for the Blades. Stenstrom sets it up behind the net for Sherman. Puck played to Johnson. He has trouble with it. Turned over just inside the Otter line. Now to Casti. Turns and fires on the backhand. Missed wide. It's a nice scoring attempt from Breck Wap, as it would have been their first shot on the game, but it just went wide. So knockdown play at his own line by Matthew Peterson. And puck comes back through neutral. Now Issa Neppel in over the line. Fires. Squirts right through Stenstrom, but it did go wide. And we're going to get a whistle. I'm not sure why. Looks like we have a net dislodged.
Yeah, so that puck, couldn't tell from this angle on where that hit Stenstrom, but he didn't really handle it very clean. And watching him in the pregame, it looked like he was giving up quite a bit up top. I wonder if we could just start getting some pucks on him, back-to-back game. And the game yesterday was, he saw a lot of rubber, and he stood on his head. And I don't know, maybe he's a Warrior and he can come back and have a game like that again, but that's hard to do on a back-to-back.
Sure, so the Otters playing Wilmer last night. And there's a lot of condensed schedules this time of year for a lot of teams with the weather that we've had, and a lot of cancellations and teams trying to squeak in all these games here towards the end of the year. Certainly the Blades have been on that schedule as well, playing a lot of games in a short period of time to close out the season. Puck lobbed out to Brewer at neutral ice. Ooh, fires it into the Otter bench. Unintentionally, of course.
Yeah, the coaches have to look alive over there.
Looks like somebody might have caught one in the thigh. No worse for the wear. And we'll get a neutral zone face off the Casti line out for the Blades. Draw one by the Blades, played back to Ekron. Ryan peels it off the wall, kicks it over for Donahue. Puck's played into the Blades zone. Luke Craig will be back for the Blades. Gets it around to Nepple and gets to the line and out. Now picked up by Nepple. He's harassed by Johnson on a good back check. Zender starts to play the other way for the Otters. 3-on-3 over the line. Shot in, deflected. Goes into the corner. Now Nepple for the Blades. Starts to play up. Rink wide to Lopez. He dumps it in where it'll be set up by Holdstrom again behind the net. He's been busy stopping pucks behind his own net tonight. And that's an asset for the Otters if he can continue to limit the rim attempts by the Blades.
Yeah, you just give your D guys an opportunity to handle a puck that's still versus trying to pick up a puck off the wall.
Now Ekron with some time behind his own net. Plays for Lopez. And ill-advised pass back through the box. A high zone turnover. Nothing comes of it as the Blades collapse quickly on it. Now Casti in. Fires one high. Kind of a funny hop off the glass. Handled neatly by Zender. And he'll fire back to neutral. Puck played back in. Stenstrom again sets it up for Chase Johnson. He fires it off the wall. He's going to hit number 5, Bennett Dilkey, at neutral ice. Who advances the puck into the Blades zone where they will turn around and fire it down for an icing. 9:02 to go in the game. 1-0 lead for the Otters on a power play goal. Shots 2-1 has kind of been a little bit of ping pong here.
Yeah, 8 minutes of hockey and only 3 shots on goal. That kind of tells you everything you need to know about this game at this point. Not really giving up anything in the middle. And as you see, Fergus Falls is very content just flipping the puck out and of their own end, and the Blades are, not really getting hemmed into their own end either.
Played rink wide. Crusher win the race. McDonald there, holds it in. And they're going to call him offsides here. He was a step slow getting up the ice. Yeah, building a good crowd here tonight, but maybe just feels a little bit flat, or maybe they're just kind of on pins and needles. Either way, it's quiet in here.
You get in these games and nobody wants to make that mistake that allows the goal, right? So you play a little bit more reserved, and it's a Section 6A game. This game has seeding implications, or potentially has seeding implications. So, they all want to win, but they don't want to be the one that loses it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point, Coach. Teams may be playing not to lose, as I said, trying to win right now.
Yep.
And the game needs something. Of course, the Otters had a nice scoring play, but a big hit or something to kind of get the building going here. Puck played to Lopez right in the slot. And that might do it, get people woken up a little bit, because that was in tight on Stenstrom, and he was turned away. Now, ill-advised pass up through the middle. Brewer steps in, fires. That's blocked. Rebound's laying there, and Donahue's feet comes wide. Nepple just had a look but couldn't put it on the net. Circles the net, plays it wide. Now Peterson steps down for the Blades. Rims it back up to Brewer. Comes off the wall and shoots. And that'll be held by Stenstrom. And just like that, the Blades come to life a little bit.
Yeah, nice save by Stenstrom. He saw that thing all the way and was able just to grab it on his shoulder. Not an easy save for a goaltender to make. Can't catch on that side very easily.
So the Otters will change. Blades will keep their top unit out there. Casti and Luke Johnson square up in the draw. One cleanly by Casti. D play to Hoffman. Fired down behind the net for Casti. He leads. Luke Johnson picks the puck up. Played up to Zender. He chips to neutral. Hoffman now with the puck. Plays to Ekron. Has some trouble. That'll be offside. Blades got time to regroup, and it'll be Hoffman in his own end. Starts to play. Doesn't like what he sees. Turns back. He's got Johnson all over him. Now played to Nepple. Nepple to Ekron. Ekron walks out. Gets it to Lopez. Lopez streaks wide. Shoots it in. Set up by Stenstrom behind his own net. Shorman now. Plays it up the half wall. Back to neutral. Game starting to pick up just a little. Hoffman gets the red, dumps it in. Johnson back for the Otters. Flips to Sherman. He gives it away to Lopez. Puck played back down low. Sherman again. Stick check by Lopez, but gets help. And the puck will be behind the outer net. Now Lopez with it. Gets it to the line. Just hops over Hoffman's stick. And it'll go D-to-D and back behind the Otter goal. Both teams will change. Otters control at neutral. Peterson now. Matthew doubles back behind his own net. Plays to Neppel. Neppel with time. Hits Brushard in the middle. Brushard drives wide. With speed, pulls up, looks for Ritter. Trailing the play, just misses him in the slot. And the Blades will control in their own end. Puck played to Akron. Akron gains the line. Leaves for Brushard. His shot is deflected. Comes right to Brewer, who steps down, looking to shoot into the corner. Peels off a check, but falls. Regains control of the puck. Tries to walk out. Is checked. Off of Ritter in front. Another shot attempt by Akron. That's blocked. Another centering attempt. Comes to Ritter. He gets one on the backhand finally. Turned away, and he's hauled down. The exact same penalty that he took, but he's not going to get the call. Shot wide by Peterson. Brushard holds his own. Another shot in on Stenstrom. Blades coming to life a little bit here in the Otter zone. It'll be flipped out of there off of Peterson's glove. And he'll come together with number 6, Parker Thielke, in the far side corner. He'll scrum the puck there. Brushard into help. That'll be taken away by Ritter. Ritter checked by by Johnson. And puck played up to Brushard. Brushard over the line, drives into the corner, stops, peels. Nicely checked and turned over by Johnson. Thielke the other way. Back to Johnson in the middle. Loads one up, shoots. Just over the net of Gilbertson. Puck played the other way now. Almost caught the Otters in transition. As Casti and Lopez were looking to get up ice quickly. Shot on. That'll be gloved by Gilbertson on the Luke Johnson shot. And that'll bring us to another stoppage with 4:50 to go here in the transition.
Yeah, nice save by Kale right there. Saw it all the way.
Lopez were looking to
shooting
get up
through
ice
the
quickly.
D guys. I think Charlie Ekman's legs, which is what you want to see.
By Gilbertson on the Luke Johnson shot.
Luke Johnson scoring 2 goals. I watched
stop.
the one last night where he just curled off the wall and beat the goalie in a very similar spot.
Face-off put right into the crease of Gilbertson before it's cleared out of there. And then a shot wide. Now Casti at neutral. Gets it to Lopez. Lopez looking for help. Circles back. Well defended by Shorman. Played to neutral. Johnson dumps, Luke Craig dumps it back in. Or it'll be controlled by Johnson behind the net. Flip to neutral. Craig knocks that down with his glove before he dumps it in. And Johnson will start it over again. Back to Shorman. Back to Johnson now. Johnson of the Otters shoves it up the wall. Zender's checked by Ekron at neutral ice. And Johnson is back in. Centering attempt broke it up nicely by Luke Craig as he had a man driving the net. Zender with a shot that goes wide from the slot. Shot on by Johnson, controlled by Ekron. And he'll skate it out of there. Hard rim. Stenstrom again, setting the puck up for his defenseman so Casti can't get the rim. Johnson takes a hit from Ekron. Puck played to the line to McDonald. He fires well wide, but that'll be gloved by Stenstrom, and we'll get another stoppage.
As you see this game unfolds, Fergus had a nice little push there, but they seem to be very defensive-minded. They got 4 guys coming out of the zone every single time the breakout happens for the Blades. So a lot of times the only option is hitting that red line and having to dump. And Stenstrom's right there out for the rim.
Yeah,
settling it down and
doing a nice job so far of limiting that. The Blades being the first one to get to the puck. Won by Brushard. Played to Peterson. Shoots for the tip. Matthew shot for Mikey. Now McDonald behind the net. Turns out fires right at Stenstrom with a chest save. Played back down for Peterson. Tries to center. Brushard tied up in front. Now McDonald in the corner. Spins off a check of Donahue. Works his way back, tries to center. That doesn't go anywhere, and Crine will come away with the puck, and we're going to get a penalty. Maybe?
I'm not sure what he's yelling. Face off out of the zone, it sounds like.
Well, if there was a crease infraction or...
Must have been.
What happened there? Otters had the puck, so not sure what the whistle would be. Face-off controlled by the Otters. Krein. He flips it to Brewer. Brewer spins. Tries to get it to the middle of the ice to Brushert. And now Michael Peterson cross-corner dump, and that comes right to McDonald. He leaves. Peterson has to hustle to get there. McDonald and Krein come together behind the net. Peterson steps down to hold his own. Brushert chips behind the Otter net. Played to neutral. And it'll be a hand pass if the Otters touch it. And then it gets, I'm not sure what happened here. So it was a hand pass, but Peterson wisely didn't touch it, and then the ref waved it off, and then the Otters touched it, and then he blew it. So I'm not sure what was going on there.
Yeah, well,
it was a heady play by Peterson not to touch puck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got a guy on you like that, and not saying you can't make the play, but that's a tough play to make with a guy breathing down your neck.
Casti and Johnson come together in the dot again. This time will be controlled temporarily by the Otters, and now by the Blades. Neppel stepped in to clean up the loose face-off. Casti over the Otter line, nicely checked by Thilke. Played back to neutral for Ekron. Off the wall, Neppel dumps. Stenstrom out, plays it to Thilke in the corner. Shorman in the corner, and he'll shoot it back to neutral where Hoffman will dump it back in. Grant Sherman now behind his net. Plays up to number 9, Wynn Sheldon. He shoves Hoffman to the ice. Puck makes its way over to Neppel, who shoots it in for Stenstrom to set up again. He plays it around to Sherman, and he keeps it going. That gets through everybody, but Hoffman was outside the line and couldn't hold it. And away come the Otters. Sherman streaking up the left wing. Cuts wide, shoots, that's deflected out of play. We'll get a whistle with 1:24 to go in the game.
Yeah, the Blades are going to have to figure out that rim play, that dump and play a little bit here. It seems to be almost automatic where Stenstrom settles it down and goes to that right-hand side, or left-hand side on the goalie.
Yeah, they're going to have to get it up on the glass on him. But then again, it's hard for your teammate to handle on the other side of things as well. Ekron has trouble with the pass from his brother, and it'll be shot in by the Otters. Now the Blades get it out to neutral. Crying off the glass and back down. Oh, tough play by Charlie Ekron as he kind of flubbed the pass back towards the center of the ice, and the Otters will control inside the Blades zone with 1 minute to go in the game, or in the first period. Puck scrummed over for Ekron. Centering attempt. Dangerous look. Puck played to Donahue at the line. Tough shot coming in. Now Krein steps down. Gilbertson can't see anything. He's got the majority of the players on the ice standing in his crease. Shot back in by Krein where it'll be played by Hoffman. Hoffman reverses ice for Jack Ekron. He flips back out to neutral. Zender and Brushert come together. And Brushert dumps it in with 25 to go in the period. Donahue steps through the Brennan Ritter check. Luke Johnson starts to play. Chips up for Zender. It's him and Peterson are doing battle. Zender falls. Leaves for Krein. That shot will be deflected and out of play. So Otters looking to be opportunistic there as Zender's kind of hanging out at the far blue line. Johnson sees him. Peterson sees him too, but doesn't quite make a play on the puck and could have been dangerous.
Yeah, he was playing the pass instead of the man, and the puck got by him. Could have been a dangerous play.
He recovered nicely. No harm done. Puck played into the corner. Reversed back for Neppel with 6 to go. He gets it across to Lopez. Lopez tries to step through Donahue, and that's not going to happen, and that's the way we'll end the first period. So kind of a boring period.
Yeah, the Fergus Falls game plan so far is just get possession and chip the glass and get wings up the wall in the neutral zone, and they seem to be content if they gain possession. They seem to be content if they don't. They'll just go back and They got 4 guys back, forcing us just to dump the puck down. They gained back possession on that rim play. And so I don't know if they're going to have to settle down. They're going to have to do a soft chip instead of a rim. Be able to retrieve a puck in the corner just to give some advantages on possession instead of getting it to their goalie, who's just going to pass it to a D guy, and the D guy's just going to get it up ice quicker. So some adjustments that the Blades could maybe make just on the style of play that's been going on so far tonight.
Yeah, I think both teams exercising a bit of patience, not trying to do too much, where they can potentially get stung from being overactive or in too deep, because each team can hurt you in a hurry if you give them the opportunity. So both teams playing very cautious, I would say, at this point.
Yep.
I think, too, Blades looking at things they maybe can do differently would be entering the zone a little bit differently. Instead of dumping, maybe entering
with possession.
With possession, and then with numbers, too. As something we haven't really seen. It's usually been a 2-on-3 with you, like you had mentioned earlier, Fergus getting guys back to, to kind of negate that zone entry or to collapse down and pressure the Blades players to the wall as opposed to gaining through the middle of the ice.
Yeah, it is something that they're going to have to do. They're going to probably have to cut the neutral zone either by skating or passing in order to buy time for the rest of the team to come up. The other thing they could be looking at doing is getting their defensemen to jump up in the play too, to match those numbers as they enter the zone. But yeah, they're going to want to find ways that they could beat them, whether it's through the middle or getting numbers of defensemen jumping up in the play as well.
So we have some rankings here. Section 6A current standings. Depending on what you read, if you go by the QRF, it looks like we have Sartell at number 1, Northern Lakes at number 2, Prairie Center area at number 3, Wilmer at number 4, Fergus at number 5, Breckenridge at number 6, Little Falls at 7, Morris Benson at 8, and Wadena Deer Creek at 9. And if you go by Class A guys' current rankings as of 2/8/26, you'd have Sartell at 1, Northern Lakes 2, Fergus at 3, Prairie Center 4, Breckenridge at 5, Little Falls 6, Wilmer 7, Morris at 8, and Wadena at 9. And it's anybody's guess as to how the coaches will vote come the end of the year. And I guess we have a few games to go that might help shake things out and make it a little more clear. Tonight's game being one of them between Breckenridge, Wahpeton, and Fergus, and then Thursday's game against Little Falls.
Yep.
Two wins there in each game could go a long way to help the Blades bump up and at least make a case for the number 5 seed as opposed to the number 6 seed.
I don't know how many scenarios I've ran through the brain, and we've talked about this too, as far as this guy beat this guy. Prairie Center is kind of the odd one. They've done a good job against the teams that they played, except for Little Falls. Well, Little Falls hasn't really beat anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Doesn't make sense.
So it doesn't make sense. So as you try to do the arithmetic and how this is going to shake out, it's very hard to figure it out. And that's maybe why they have that art component to it. But, Fergus Falls has done a good job of beating 6A schools, even though the record isn't the greatest. They've done a really good job of beating 6A schools, so they should have a good look at that. Interesting game tonight is Sartell and Northern Lakes are squaring off.
Do we have a score there?
There isn't anything updated in Legacy right now that I've seen, but
we'll try to update out-of-town scores as we get them. Just looking at records, Breck's sitting at a 10-11-1 record right now. Sartell's record 20-3. I mean, they're the number 3 team right now in most of people's polls in the state, and they're playing a AA schedule primarily.
Yep.
So you really can't even take their opponent. They have a completely different class of opponent. Northern Lakes currently sitting at 12-9-1. Fergus sitting at 7-15. Prairie Center sitting at 17-6-0. But I think if you dig into that schedule, you'll see there's quite a few softies in there.
Yes. Yep.
You have 2 against Redwood Falls, 2 against Worthington, and that's some of the bottom teams in Class A hockey.
So our producer just showed us that Sartell and Northern Lakes are actually knotted up in 1 in the first period. And shots are 8-5. This is
one minutes ago in the first period, roughly, and they're playing. Looks like they're playing down in Sartell.
They're on Sartell tonight. Yep. So that's like something that just seemed like impossible. Was anybody build a Class A team to compete with Sartell outside of maybe the typical norms like Hermantown, Warroad, and those guys?
And again, Sartell beat Fergus 10-1.
Yes.
Just last week, maybe, I think it was.
Yeah, it was very recently.
And it just kind of shows you that they're kind of just on another level. I mean, yeah, that's a program that played AA hockey and just moved down this year. I'd be curious to see how Alex is doing up at AA for their first season. Struggling a bit, I would imagine, and I'm just kind of curious to see what their record looks like. But yeah, I mean, the things we absolutely know for sure is Sartell will be the 1 seed, and Morris and Wadena are going to be in the play-in game. And after that, it's anybody's guess as to how things are going to shake out. So I think any team could make a case.
Yeah. Well, Northern Lakes looks like they're trying to make a case for the number 1 seed. Well, how about that? Does anybody see that one coming?
I think even if they beat them, they're not going to be the number 1. I think it's pretty much a consensus that Sartell will be the number 1 seed.
Northern Lakes is undefeated in Section 6A, and if they're remains undefeated, and Sartell is only, or I think they've played. They played Wilmer too, or they're going to play Wilmer. Sartell, because it's a conference game for them.
Okay.
So they have to, but I can't imagine what that game will look like if it hasn't been played yet.
Can you hear me?
Breaking news. We have producer Tony entering the chat.
I just wanted to bring this up. Fergus was 2-1 after 1 with Sartell.
Okay.
So Sartell starts waking up in the second and third period.
Okay, well.
So they take over here. So I just wanted to bring that to you. Let's not put too much thought into that one-to-one first period.
They have the JV units out right now, and then
right.
Varsity's going to take the ice after the second or after the first.
Well, like I heard you guys talking about these guys trying to fill each other out. I'm thinking that's what's happening down in Sartell right now.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
All right, boys, I'm out.
Always a delight to hear from producer Tony with his vast knowledge of the game of hockey and all things Class A hockey. He's certainly always looking at scoreboards and keeping us up to date and giving us these
building
handy
spreadsheets.
And brilliant spreadsheets. So if you've ever seen that meme of the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the red wires, the red strings, and smoking a cigarette at 3 a.m., that's Tony looking at Class A, 6A rankings, trying to figure out who's going to be seated where. God bless Shanna for all she deals with. All right, well, yeah, good one so far. Like I said, maybe a bit of a boring one. I'm guessing both teams are going to come out with a little more jam here in the second as maybe some of the nerves have worn off. And
make some adjustments.
Chess match in the first period there. Yeah, make some adjustments. And as long as the Blades don't get too overzealous and caught up ice a little bit, maybe start manufacturing some offense from the dots and in. I think that's where their game is maybe at its best, especially with that senior line of McDonald, Brushert, and Peterson.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're going to have to figure out how to get shots on net. It's 6-5. The way we shoot, we're going to have to probably double that 5 total, get to 10 or 15 shots after 2 if we're going to try to manufacturing any kind of offense and get on the scoreboard and hopefully limit Fergus Falls and their opportunities. The long change here. And I don't know if that necessarily means a good thing for us or not. They just have to be smart on their line changes here for the second period.
Yeah, I think Fergus, too, when you look at their lineup, a little bit on the younger side.
Yep.
And so maybe a little bit of that inexperience there with the long change in the second. The Blades could look to take advantage of some of the young defensemen that they're playing back there. You never know.
Yep.
You never know. Well, that'll do it for first period coverage. We'll be back here in just a few. We'll take a quick break, and while we do, we'll make sure we say thank you to our sponsors. Again, if you want to donate directly to the hockey program here, go through the Blue Line Club. That is the way you can ensure that 100% of your donation will go directly to the team, much as these good people have who you see on the screen. We thank those businesses, and again, you should thank them by doing business with them. So again, thank you for donating to the Blades Blue Line Club. We will be back shortly with second period action. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Second period action here at Stern Arena in Wahpeton, North Dakota. Section 6A matchup, the 210 border battle.
Yeah.
I guess, well, yeah.
The West Side 210.
Yes, the West Central Area Showdown.
There we go. It's where the prairie, the edge of the prairie is, right?
I can't think of anything else.
No.
That's all I
The
can come up with.
straightest road in Minnesota.
Yes, the worst winter driving condition award goes to.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, second period action. Underway. Blades play the puck in. Down behind the outer net, and they'll quickly come out of their zone with Zender with the puck. Chips to center, off a referee. Back through the middle, off of Lopez's stick at neutral. Chips ahead. Neppel almost had a break. Nicely broken up by Luke Johnson. He's knocked down and shot in on Gilbertson. Played by the Blades is Brewer. Gets behind his own net for safety. Plays to Casti on the wall. Chips to the middle. Comes right to Zender, taken off him by Johnson. Played back for Johnston. Shot into the corner. And that'll be played by Sherman. Back to the line. Zender loads one up. Deflected off of Lopez is sticking into the corner. Chipped ahead. Touched by Lopez. He'll control. Good stick check by Zender at the last minute. He's thrown back down the ice. Brewer's going to hurry as icing's waved. Him and Johnson come together in the far side corner. Neppel's there to help. Plays it around for Peterson. Peterson back to the middle for Casti. Back to the wall, now back to Casti. Casti tripped up ice, and we'll get a call here. Sherman touches the puck. And that was a 2-on-1.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious call, and it looked like the ref was even slow to make the call.
So we'll get the Blades first look at the Blades power play as number 6 will be going to the box. Parker Thilke on a tripping call as he hauled down Casti as he entered the zone. Peterson to take the draw. He played over for Akron. Puts it down for his brother, Jack.
Number 6, Parker Tilke. We got a 2-minute minor for tripping, which brings up a Blades power play.
Shot on by Akron goes just wide. Retrieved by his brother, Jack. Now back to Charlie at the point. Plays it back down to Jack. Up the wall for him. Works it across to Brushert. He chips it down into the corner. Michael Peterson moves it along to Akron. Up the wall, back to Charlie Akron at the point. Steps down, fires. Loose puck in front. Last minute effort there by, I believe, Brody Crine got a stick on that. Otherwise, that was a wide open net. Jack Akron founds on the one-time attempt. Puck played back to him. Back to his brother Charlie. Loads one up, fires. Nice block in front. And that was blocked by number 9, Quinn Wilden Sheldon. And a nice effort by him. Tough play there. As Gilbertson played the puck out of the reach of Brushert and then didn't get back to his net. Turned over right to number 2, Caden Zender, who wasted no time putting in the back of the Blades net for the shorthanded goal. And that one's going to sting.
Yeah, in a game where the Fergus Falls Otters is not giving up a whole lot, you don't want that play to happen. Gaining possession is a big deal. I get trying to catch him on a change, but that was a tough one. The Otters bench is right there on that line change.
Peterson controls the puck behind his own net. 45 to go here on the power play.
Second period, number 2, Caden Zender.
So Zender with the shorthanded goal. Puck play to the line for Lopez. Now back to Peterson. Shot into the crease. Loose puck there. Nicely cleaned up by the Otters before Casti could pot it. Now Lopez off the wall. Looks to get across the Neppel. Shoots. Big save by Stenstrom coming across. Because that's exactly the play the Blades wanted to make. Peterson steps down, gets to Casti in the low circle. He winds up and shoots. That's off of Stenstrom. Clearing attempt knocked down neatly by Neppel. He controls. Gets it back to the middle for Lopez. He winds one up, kicks it over for Casti. Shot, loose, shot to goal.
Nice. Beautiful.
And the Blades needed that with 1 second to go on the power play. just to break even and keep it a 1-goal game. So some good puck movement out of that unit. 2, 3, 4 good looks. Puck's laying in the crease. Otter's doing a nice job of clearing loose pucks before the Blades could put it in, but finally the dam broke.
Yeah, I mean, Stenstrom, if there is any question if he's going to be sharp tonight, that answered it. I mean, he was on his game, making those initial saves, and it just took that shot and crash on the net to bang home the rebound when he was sliding out of his crease. And Blades outnumber the Otters in front of the net, and they were able to bank it home.
We'll get the call from...
Scoring for the Blades at 3:10 in the second period, a power play goal from number 12, Jackson Lopez. Assisted on the play by number 17, Grayson Casti. That's Lopez from Casti. That's good hockey.
So it's Lopez from Casti on the power play to bring this to a 1-goal game again after the tough shorthanded goal given up by the Blades on the miscommunication. That'll be shot out of play by Ekron. So things opening up just a little bit here in the second period, and the special teams proving to be deadly for the Blades.
Yeah, all 3 goals have been scored on the special teams. 1 shorty by the Otters and 1 power play goal, and the Blades getting that power play goal with 1 second left.
Puck will be controlled by Krein. He puts it in the corner. Matthew Peterson, the first man there for the Blades, chips up to his brother. Donahue steps down the wall to hold his own. It'll shoot in behind the Blades net. Now controlled by Brewer. Reverses ice to McDonald. He has Krein breathing down his neck. He chips back to Brushard, and the Blades have a 3-on-1. Brushard all the way back over to Peterson. Peterson loads one up, fires, looking for the rebound for his brother on the back door. Just missed. McDonald up the ice, holds the zone. Squirts back to neutral now, where it'll be controlled by Peterson, who got back just in time. Now McDonald with the puck. Plays to Brushard. Knocks down the puck in middle ice. Gains the zone. Leaves for Michael Peterson before it's shot back in by Matthew. Donahue behind his own net. Steps to the middle. Harassed there by both Brushard and Lopez. And gets a clear down the ice where it'll be touched by Zender to negate icing. Puck played in the near side corner for Lopez. He sweeps that one, but left it for Luke Johnson. Back to the middle for Zender. He gives it away to Lopez. It's 1-on-1. Neppel's got a step on him. Drives the net, cuts to the inside, shot on. It was deflected. Now for Lopez, who steps out. Thinks about trying to go wrap back door. Stenstrom gets the pad over and stops that plan. Fired on. Big pillow save by Stenstrom through traffic. And away come the Otters. Luke Johnson up the ice. Matt Peterson chases him down to the corner. Centering attempt. Just doesn't connect. And we'll get an icing call as Lopez touched it, but it was on the wrong side of the red. So a little back and forth here. Blades opening things up with the 3-on-1, and nice idea by Mike Peterson to shoot far pad, trying to get his brother a goal on the old pass off the pad rebound attempt, but Stenstrom saw it the whole way.
He was there the whole way. I think the only thing I'd maybe want to see in that zone entry is maybe a little depth on it, because it looked like it was 3 across, but good look nonetheless, and that rebound just sits down in a different spot. It's probably tie ball game.
Sherman chips one in. That's controlled by Gilbertson. Leaves for Craig. Craig off the glass and out for Ekron. Ekron pokes it ahead. Ritter up ice. That'll come right in on Stenstrom, and he's going to freeze it with 2 Blades coming in hot on him.
We got Cam Spinks, I think, getting his first shift of the game.
So now we're seeing back to that third line. I don't know how many periods Cam Spinks played in JV, but that may be why we didn't see that in the first period. Ekron back in the middle between Spinks and Ritter. That'll be controlled by the Blades. Craig walks to the middle. D to D for Ekron. He has trouble with the pass. Shoots it wide. And back to Craig, who shoots it wide as well. That'll go into the corner. Ritter comes together with Donahue. That'll be controlled by the Otters' Donahue. He works it over for Krein. Win Sheldon chips it out to neutral ice. It'll be controlled by Craig. He has some trouble with it. And a little back and forth. Now the Otters come into the Blade zone. Starting to attempt to win. Sheldon gets a stick on it. That just goes high. Back across now. Blades will come out of their end with it. It's Jack Ekren. 1-on-3. He has trouble. Donahue makes a nice play to advance the puck. Now picks up his rebound. Gets it across the ice. Shot on. Gilbertson blockers that away. Now the game's starting to pick up a little bit. Both teams moving a little bit quicker than they did in the first. And you're starting to see the scoring chances pick up as well. Puck played back behind the Blades net. Charlie Ekren there with Coulter McGinnis. Number 26 for the Otters. Loose puck behind the net. I don't think anybody knew where it was for a minute. Otters controlling on a nice forecheck shift here. With Johnson, McGinnis, and Zender, who has the puck, looks for Johnson back door. That misses him. McDonald picks up the loose rebound. Gets it over to Peterson, who's quickly collapsed on by the Otters at neutral ice, and they'll shoot it back in. Akron plays it back behind his net for Craig. Gives it a hard rim, and that'll go all the way down for an icing, as Peterson couldn't control it on the wall.
As you see the pressure come in on the Fergus Falls Otters, I can't help to notice that this is almost like Northern Lakes last year, where they have 3 guys up high. You know, that play, there's Otters going to work down low, and we have 3 across up high on the blue line. I've seen that a couple times from the Otters tonight.
That style's becoming more and more popular as I saw East Grand Forks play when they were playing at times, not the whole game, but at times against Hermantown. Very similar style where they had looks like they have 3 defensemen. It just helps them control the zone. Puck played back up for Brewer, and there you see that winger step down and make that hard forecheck to keep you in your zone. Blades now having a little bit of trouble. Puck squirts towards Gilbertson, and he'll cover it for a whistle. 8:47 to go here in the second period. A 1-goal game. Otters currently have the lead. Blades have the edge in shots, and the game's opened up a little bit here in the second.
So maybe the winningest coach in high school hockey history, it was on to something on introducing that style of play.
Puck controlled by the Otters. Looking to shoot through a screen that's deflected by Casti. Peterson ties his man up behind the net, and Lopez will come down to help. Shorman puts one on. That doesn't get through. Now it comes right to Casti. Has some trouble and is turned back at the last minute. Now Luke Johnson off the wall. Loads one up, fires. That goes wide. The Blades control the puck behind their own net. Giveaway by Peterson as he just missed Nepple on the half wall. And the Blades just forced to ice the puck again as the Otters are all over them. And I think their D started pinching as they had that third man high, and they're able just to come down hard on the Blades' wings and hold them in their zone.
Yeah, the wings are probably going to have to either get a little bit higher, or they're just going to have to come back to the middle and just get off that pinch,
or fly the zone and just chip pucks.
Yep.
That'll get those. That'll keep those D honest.
Yep.
Puck scrummed around in the face-off circle. Now it'll be controlled by the Blades' Ekman. He sends it over to his partner Hoffman. Now Brushert with the puck. Works it across ice for Michael Peterson. He has Tanner Donahue in his face, so he chips it in the zone. First man to the puck, him and Crine battle behind the net. Now Donahue with it. Harassed by Brushert, who gets control behind the outer net. Stripped off of him by Crine, controlled by Peterson again. Works it up the wall. That's to the point to Ekman. Ekman D to D for Hoffman. Plays it off the wall. Just lays it into the corner. Peterson will be the first man there for the Blades. Chips it down low. Crine plays the puck behind his own net. Harassed by McDonald. Up the wall. Turned over by Brushert. Now Brushert controls out of the corner. Looks to get to the net. Rounds the net. Looking to center. Off the wall to the point. Ekman D to D. That just misses Hoffman again. He bats it down out of neutral or out of air. Not a high stick. And the Otters will come away with it. Pass deflected. Hoffman has trouble with that as he stepped up to play the puck. Puck scrummed around here and finally shot in by number 22, Corbin Prophet. Puck played back across the ice for Lopez, streaking up the wing. Fires, looking for Cassie going to the net, just missed him. Ekman was going to change, thought better of it at the last minute. And puck will be played into the Blades bench for a whistle.
Yeah, very defensive style, but very opportunistic for the Fergus Falls Otters here as they do that hard pinch, keeping that third forward really high in the zone. They can afford that. They can go down to our wings that are almost below, almost to the goal line, and make that break up that breakout pass.
Puck shot in off of Neppel's back and into the Otter bench. So we'll get another stoppage here. So the Johnson, McGinnis, and Zender line has seen a lot of ice tonight here for the Otters, and they've worked well to kind of hem the Blades in at times. Shot on by Chase Johnson. Doesn't get through. McGinnis now walks out of the corner, fires. Big save by Gilbertson. Puck laid loose for a minute. Now controlled by the Blades is Brewer. Neppel finally corrals it and skates away. He drives wide on Johnson. Johnson with a nice stick check. Back to the line. Worked across for Lopez, looking to make a play. Fires back to Neppel. Open shot. Big save. Stenstrom shuts down Neppel point blank as he was loose in the slot. And away come the Otters. Now it's 3-2 the other way. Brewer hustles to get back. Lopez playing defense. Spinorama in front of his own net with the puck. Back over to Brewer, streaking up the right wing. Shot in. That'll get all the way over for Neppel. Played into the corner for Casti. Johnson's there for the Otters. He comes away with it. Now Neppel with the puck. Tries to get it back to the middle. Turns it back down low. Casti there for the Blades. Centering attempt. Nobody there. Almost put in his own net by Luke Johnson as he was surprised by the centering attempt. Big stop. Wow. Stenstrom point blank on Neppel again on the centering attempt from Lopez. No, Lopez high in the zone. He's loose. Works it back door. Neppel tied up neatly there by Johnson, the youngster. Doing a good job defending, tying his man up, going to net. Otherwise, that's a tap-in for Easton Neppel, who had 3 or 4 looks that shift.
Yeah, Stenstrom definitely has Neppel's number right now as he can't crack the code. Lopez using his feet right there, finding that seam on that backdoor play. And like you said, Fergus's defense was to the task on tying up Neppel.
Number 12 is dangerous when he gets those feet turning in the zone. Centering attempt off of Stenstrom. It looked like it was more of a jam play, but it popped right out and just missed Brushert. Now Otters back the other way. Puck played out wide. Brushert comes in to bury his man and against the wall. Now it's played back around. Donahue steps down to hold the zone. Does a nice job there. Has the puck in the corner. Centering attempt off a skate. Puck comes to McDonald on the far wall. He's up the left wing. He tries to get it over for Craig, streaking up the ice. Filkey breaks that up, and away come the Otters. It'll be iced as he didn't get the line, and that was number 17, Hunter Welly, shooting the puck just a step too early. Astute referee caught it. We'll get an icing call and an offensive zone drop for the Blades as they're going to send out that big top unit again, trying to build off of their last shift.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I mean, they've had a couple nice shifts right now, and they're able to sustain zone time and get scoring opportunities. It's only a matter of time before they find the back of the net.
You would think so. Stenstrom maybe has other ideas there. Puck played over for Zender on the wide wing. Gets through him. Brewer is going to turn it back down. Gets the hard rim, comes all the way through to Lopez. And played to neutral and shot back in. There you see Zender being opportunistic and way up ice behind the defense. Now Johnson over the Blades line. Cuts wide on Ekrin. Drives the front of the net. Puck drifted through the crease. Held in nicely by Sharman. And he played with a hand pass inadvertently. So he was taking a hit from Cassie. And time and puck went right to McGinnis. They'll get a stoppage here.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest plays as a D guy is you got a guy breathing down your neck and you're trying to catch a puck coming up there. You really can't take your eyes off the puck either. You don't want to whiff on it. You're just kind of hope that guy doesn't run you over.
Puck will be controlled by the Otters. Krein sends it around for Zender. Chips to neutral, controlled by Brewer. Tried to get back to Casty. Donahue stepped up on that, crosses the line, fires right into the shin pads of Brewer. Loose puck in front of the net. Played away by Peterson. Back to neutral. Now he gets it right back. Goes D to D. Brewer back to Neppel. Neppel sends it around. Lopez able to get there. Because all of a sudden we've seen Stenstrom stay in the net. Maybe he got scared by what happened to Gilbertson at the other end. But he hasn't been out to play those rims as Neppel gets into trouble as he has Caden Zender all over him. Excuse me, that's Lopez. And puck squirts out to neutral. Peterson back. Lopez comes back to help. Pokes it to Peterson. He goes D to D to Ekron. Ekron up to Neppel. He has trouble with the pass. He chipped back down for Ekron. Plays for Lopez. He swings through the middle. Drives wide on the right wing. Leaves for Casty. Tucks inside a man. Back to the middle. Shot. Save Stenstrom again. Spinks now. Drives the net. Back up to Hoffman. He goes D to D. Ekron loads one up. Fires. That's seen cleanly by Stenstrom and played into the corner. Puck squirts through Lopez. It'll be played back to the line. Hoffman thought about holding it, but had a man in his face, had to back out early. Donahue chips the wall. Controlled by the Blades at neutral. Puck left for Spinks. Spinks attacks the line, fires. Stenstrom stops that. Get a whistle. 2 minutes to go here in the second period.
Good to see Spinks getting out there and getting a shot on net, even though it was a pretty harmless shot. Looking 5-hole the whole way. Might as well, right? See if you're catching sleeping.
Yeah, something. Puck on net. Gets an offensive zone draw. Blades will roll out the senior line here. McDonald, Brushert, and Peterson. Peterson scrummed in along the wall there. Controlled by Brushert now. Chips back down for Peterson. Plays it in his skates. Leaves for Brushert. Brushert back down to McDonald, looking for the give and go. There it is, that backhand. It's loose, still loose, in the slot. Played in the corner by Brushert. McDonald controls, works to the line. Hoffman to the middle. Looks to shoot, plays it off the end wall. Tries to get to Peterson on the backside. That would have been nifty. But away come the Otters as McDonald put Filkey nearly into the Blades bench on the back check. Played in by the Otters. Be controlled by the Blades, Hoffman. Hoffman back through neutral. Takes a hit, works it over for Peterson. Peterson redirects it into the zone. Chase Johnson back for the Otters. Plays it off of Peterson. Now up to Win Sheldon. Back through the middle. Luke Johnson with a head of steam. Crosses the red. Tacks the line, but that'll be offside as Filkey was in early. And you can see he's disgusted.
Yeah, those moves at the blue line are dangerous when you're trying to make a move and be shifty, as you see Luke Johnson was trying to create time and space for himself. You don't want to be making that move there at the blue line as the other guy's trying to time your entry.
Flipped in by Donahue, glove down by Peterson. Spins, gets himself into a little bit of trouble with the Otter forecheck. Now Casty comes in to help him out. Him and Johnson come together on the far side of the wall. Johnson tries to squirt off the wall with it. Puck comes to the front. Peterson safely plays it behind his net. Skates away from trouble. Comes to Neppel. Neppel's play is nicely broken up by Krein as was anticipating the centering attempt. Now the Otters cycling. Brewer falls on McGinnis. Gets helped out by his partner, Peterson, who's right there. Now will be controlled by Peterson. Works it up to Casty. Casty back through center ice. Tried to leave for Neppel. That didn't go anywhere, and Neppel shoots it in. Lopez hard on the puck, and away come the Otters. Zender back through neutral. Just misses Luke Johnson. Chipped off the glass. That'll be offside. Should have been offside.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Played back to Krein at the point. His shot comes in wide. 1 second to go. And I don't know how we don't call offside there, as it created a scoring attempt for the Otters. It's plain as day. Johnson was changing, but still, it's offside's offside.
Yep. Yeah, that's an unfortunate missed call, and I think they were conversing there on what they saw, but nonetheless, it was harmless. As the Blades lead the shot column 16-9, but is still trailing 2-1. after 2 periods here.
So some good back and forth action each way, as we saw the Otters kind of get their forecheck going at times, giving the Blades some problems. And then likewise, we saw the Blades start ripping around the Otter zone and giving them some problems with some real nice scoring attempts and looks at the net, created primarily by the top unit there of Neppel, Lopez, and Cassidy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Wurtsma runs his bench. I do see at times it looks like Fergus Falls sends their top unit out against our bottom unit. And I wonder if they're just trying to create mismatches, and I wonder if we're going to look at that, or if Wurtsma just looks at that and say, okay, at some point in time, our top unit's going to get up against their second or third line and have opportunities. But as this game goes on, we'll have to see if last night's game plays in any factor for Fergus playing Wilmer on any fatigue, and see if third period they can finish out here. If the Blades have a goal or two in their under their belt where they can tie this thing up and maybe take the lead.
Yeah, Blades kind of played a pretty good period. Didn't see any real major breakdowns, but there's no points for doing a good job. You gotta get the W, and so it's kind of a little bit of gut check time late in the year for some of the seniors now to say, hey, good enough isn't good enough, right?
No,
we got to get the win.
Yeah, at this point in time, it's win, right? At the beginning of the season, maybe you're making lineup adjustments and you're trying to feel what the team's going to be, but at this point in time, you're putting your best lineup out there and you're trying to win hockey games.
Any updates on the Out of Town scoreboard?
Sartell is up 3-1 with about 5 minutes left in the second.
Okay.
On Northern Lakes. So Northern Lakes having a heck of a game against Sartell. There's not a lot of even AA teams that are in the hunt at that point.
Yeah, so what will likely be the, maybe right now, favored to be the section championship game, as we're seeing play out right now between Sartell and Northern Lakes.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine. So, I mean, I think there was a point in time where we thought maybe Northern Lakes could be knocked off by somebody, and they still probably could, but the fact that they're in it right now against Sartell at 3-1, and I do believe Northern Lakes has a really good goaltender, so you never know how they could ride him out into the playoffs, and all it takes is a couple lucky bounces and a hot goaltender, and you win a hockey game.
Yeah, you never know. That's why it's a one-and-done format. Anybody can win anything. So,
yep.
And speaking of hot goaltenders, we're seeing one here tonight with Holden Stenstrom shutting down some point-blank chances from number 28 Easton Neppel, as well as others for the Blades.
One goal over 5 periods right now is Stenstrom, and I can't remember. He faced close to 30 shots last night, gave up none, and he's sitting at 16 shots tonight and just giving up 1.
So the Blades obviously going to have to get him to move east to west if they want to score,
yep.
or
rebound
goal and just scrum around until they can poke one in. But
they've had him moving east
to
west.
They have, haven't they? Yeah, he's come across a couple times with the pads and with the blocker to shut down that east-west play. And one time on the power play, in particular, that looked like it was a tap in for Neppel, and he's right there to keep it out of the net. So
it's going to be greasy, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one coming down the wire. We hope you stay tuned with us here for the third period action. We'll be back in just a bit. Again, thank you to our sponsors for all their help in making sure this broadcast gets on the air and making sure the kids have equipment and food and busing and all that good stuff that we need to run our hockey program here. Lots of positive things that's happening within the Blades organization now, and again, just building year over year now, just getting better and better. And the youth level is coming along nicely. A lot of growth there. Some of it is there's growing pains, no doubt.
Yep.
And sometimes it's hard to see the progress that we're making. But and you look at this program where it was from 10 years ago, it's in a much better place. I think when you're going to look at this program 10 years into the future, it's going to be something to really contend with in Section 6. Yeah,
there's no question. In my opinion, you and I jumped into coaching at the same time. Dang near 14 years ago, and that was a much different mentality, much different product that was being put out there. It was an organization at times where they felt like it was comfortable just having a season instead of being competitive in a season, and now this standard's been set mostly from head coach on down through the youth program, is that we're going to be competitive in our seasons. We're not going to just be having a season.
Yeah, so lots to be positive about here. And again, the numbers looking good at the youth level. And then, of course, a new sheet of ice is coming to town for those who aren't aware, which will only allow us to have more teams, more players. And if you haven't played hockey in the past or you're not a hockey family, give it a try. It's the best sport going. And you look at, say, high school basketball, there's usually 5-6 kids who are playing on a regular basis, as opposed to here where we have 12, 14 playing on a regular basis. And so there's just more opportunity for kids to participate consistently.
If you look at the Blades organization, it's one of the best run youth organizations in the Twin Towns. When you look at the structure of it, how it can be successful, how they run the organization year in, year out. So it is something to be proud of, and the people that have joined hockey, a lot of our parents and families are new to hockey. They're seeing the successes that this program is having just from a well-run organization, and it's helping out a ton to grow the game, and the fact that we're putting an emphasis on just having successful seasons. Yeah,
100%. So lots to be positive about here in Breckwap when it comes to the hockey program and the Blades organization. So again, thank you to all the people who help with youth hockey, who help with high school hockey, the parents. It's a commitment at times, and so we thank everybody for being involved and participating. So anything else thoughts-wise on the second?
No, let's break here before we get to that final Zam pass and we pull the headsets off.
Sounds good, Coach. We will see you for third period action. All right, back to Stern Arena here. Off to North Dakota, third period action. Fergus Falls Otters, Breck Watt Blades. 2-1 contest right now. Otters with the edge, shot 69 in favor of the Blades. Blades probably had the better of the scoring chances there in the second period. And then it's all special teams tonight, Coach. 2 power play goals, 1 for each team. And then the tough shorthanded goal given up there by the Blades is a little bit of misplay of the puck by the goaltender, up to nobody, turned over and shot right in the back of the net. So a little miscommunication, but Blades right of the ship after that, scored on the power play to knot it up, or at least get back to even for the power play.
Yeah,
and it's kind of turned things around from there, I thought.
Yeah, that seems to be the story for the Blades at this point in time of the year. Everything seems to run through the special teams. If they can stay out of the penalty box, they usually can do pretty good. And if they can get on the power play as one of the top power play units from a success rate in the state of Minnesota, other teams don't want to be killing penalties against the Blades, and we want them to be on the power play because that's the greatest opportunity for us to score. I'm not sure what our 5-on-5 is, but like right now, I like our game 5-on-5, and I'd love to see our game on power play.
Yeah, I would agree. Speaking of power plays, the Otters power play not looking all that bad either, is scoring just within a few seconds there and snapped the puck around pretty nicely. As we see the opening face-up shot in, controlled by Brewer behind his own net, circles up, checked by Luke Johnson, and left for partner Matthew Peterson, just out of the reach of Casti. Clearing entry attempt, gloved down by Peterson. Now Johnson over the line. Walks down, misfires on the shot. Driven wide by Brewer. Stick flying through the air. I'm not sure what happened there as McGinnis lost his twig. Casti misfires too. I don't know if the ice is wet or what's going on here, but guys are having some trouble handling the puck. Neppel gets control. Plays across for Brewer. Streaks through the middle, drives wide on the backhand. Centering attempt comes to Cassie, turns, fires, and that's deflected by an Otter. And Johnson plays it back up the wall, where Peterson has it and dumps it in. Controlled by Krein now. Headmans the puck. Off a glove. Glove down by Zender. Centering attempt, misses everybody, and back the other way we go. Lopez streaks down the right wing, cuts back to the inside, leaves for Peterson. His shot deflected last minute off the stick of number 24, Chase Johnson, and out of play.
Good defense there by the Otters as the Blades transition very quickly to get numbers. I'd like to see Peterson maybe a little bit more patient on that. I think he could have cut to the middle and avoided that stick play by the Otters, but here we are getting an offensive zone draw.
Hand pass called on the Blades behind the Otter net.
Stripes has been on the hand pass big time tonight. I think that's probably the 5th or 6th hand pass call tonight when we hardly ever see one.
And kind of inadvertently. It's not like the player's pushing the puck. It just goes off a glove and then played by another player. But it comes all the way down to the Blades zone. Nonetheless, puck scrummed around into the corner where it'll be played by Ekron. He starts out looking for a passing lane. Reverses back for Craig. He's watched by Quinn Sheldon. Chipped up to the line. Filkey holds that. Dumps it back down. Craig starts back up the wall. Gets to Peterson. And turn back again. One more time. Comes to McDonald. He tries to get back to the middle. Comes back across. Passing attempt. Misses the intended target. And Blades having some trouble again. Now Craig takes the puck. Gains the red and dumps it. The Blades will get a change. Craig continues on. Pressures Johnson behind his own net. Still has it. Takes a big hit from Filkey. And away comes McGinnis. In on Neppel. Loses the puck. Taken over by Neppel. Skates behind his net. Wheels the ice. Has room. Neppel with a head of steam. Again, I don't know, misplayed the puck or lost the puck. I don't know if the puck's sticking to the ice or what, but guys are misfiring and it's kind of escaping them. Puck is now underneath. Neppel comes to Lopez. Ships down into the corner. Be played by Johnston. He's pressured by Casti. It's off of Casti. Kind of hangs around the sidewall where Johnson plays it and takes a hit from Lopez. Well, both players comes together. Lopez knocks down Luke Johnson. And he'll finally be controlled by the Otters. Johnson, he flubs the pass as well. Turned over last minute. Now Blades control. Peterson at his own line. Puts it in the corner for Lopez. Keeps it going for Casti. Casti behind the net. Backhand centering attempt played by Zender. And he'll finally get the clear to neutral. Glove down by Brewer. Comes back to Brewer. Over the line. Cuts to the inside. Got a checker right in his face. And that was Quinn Sheldon who turned him over. Shot in. Comes clear around. Lopez, nifty play off the wall to himself. Poked off of his stick last minute by Zender. He turns it back for Brewer quick. Brewer shoots it in. Gets through Stenstrom. Played up by Donahue to neutral ice. Misfire for an Otter. McDonald plays to Peterson. Poked off of his stick. Brewer picks up the loose change. Walks in on Johnson. Fires right into his shin pad. Loose puck comes right to Brushert. Stripped off of him last minute by Quinn Sheldon. He skates away through neutral. Head of steam up ice. Loads one up. Fires off the side of the net. Played around for Thielke. Misses him. Comes to Donahue. He puts a loose shot, or a shot that's deflected on net. Squirts back across the ice for Peterson. He has McDonald flying up the wall. McDonald up the left wing. Cuts back to the inside. Leaves for Brusher on the outside. Misses him slightly. And he's turned over by Krein before Thielke will pick the puck up. Skated into the zone. Knocked down by Brushert. And that play will be offside. Brushert hard on the back check and buried Thielke. Now McDonald in on Krein. Drives wide. Centered attempt. Just missed Brushert. Controlled by Shorman, who went down. Fans wanted to call. At least the ones wearing Otter gear. Now Zender back to the inside. Misses a play for Johnson. He's put in the wall by Hoffman. Big hit by Ekron coming in on Zender. Puck controlled by Zender of the Otters. Steps out, fires, blocker save, rebound to McGinnis. Pad save by Gilbertson, because he hasn't been tested all that often recently, and he came up big there. Turnover inside the Blades zone. Shot in by McGinnis. Hoffman back for the Blades. Plays to Lopez. Lopez rink wide. Telegraph that. Johnson steps up on it. Makes a nice play. Tries to deliver a hit on Johnson. And Johnson buried him. The Blades control the puck. He's only a ninth grader, but he's got a pretty good frame on him. Lopez cuts to the inside. Loads one up. Fires. That's blocked. Comes to Hoffman at the line. He holds. Played down low for Casti. Centering attempt. Nobody there. Almost deflected in. Off the skate of Sherman. And Stenstrom had to be sharp there. Some good action here in the third period.
Yeah, that was a play right there where you don't want to turn the puck over, but a lot of times it's not a bad idea to throw the puck in the front of the net, because if that thing goes off of a skate and goes in, you got a tie ball game.
Still trying to find the 50-50 winner here, so puck played up to Peterson. To Brewer. Shot on, deflected. Second attempt at it by Akron, doesn't get through. Now played back to Brewer. He misplays the puck. Otters in all alone. 2-on-0. Broken stick. And the Brewer broke his stick.
Yeah, Cam's got to recognize that play right there. But the D guy does a broken twig.
So he's without a stick, trying to get him one. I thought we might get a call there on a slash, but didn't happen. So there's number 10, Zachary Pierce, in all alone. Had number 5, Bennett Thielke, with him. And Otters unable to come away with a goal on the 2-on-0. Now puck played for Spinks. He's put into the wall, plays the puck down low for Ritter. Ekron now has Tanner Donahue plays the puck back up the wall. Held in nicely by Brewer with the new stick, fires on. And Stenstrom equal to the task.
Yeah, if that would have got in, we would have known that it was all the stick before. As the ref goes and picks up the broken lumber. Expensive hockey game for Jackson Brewer tonight.
I thought we might see the Fergus bench up in arms a little bit on the non-call there, but there really was no reaction for him, so maybe it wasn't a true slash. But I can't think of any other way to break your stick. Shot on, that goes just wide. From Ekron, glove down, clear attempt, glove down by Craig. Played to Brushert. Puck played to the line. That goes just wide. Shot on by Craig. Now played into the corner. Peterson behind the net. Looking to center. Nobody there. Now back to the line. Craig loads up a one-timer. Puck pinballed around. McDonald tried to corral it, but it was too hot for him, and it ends up into the corner. Clearing attempt now. Craig all over that, as it could have been potentially a 2-on-1. Puck left for McDonald. He gets by Johnson. Centering attempt coming. Broken up nicely by Shorman, as Craig was driving the net. Still in the corner with it is Luke Craig. He comes together with number 17, Hunter Welly. Puck played to the line and out finally, and we'll get an icing. We're going to take a quick break here. All right, and we are back. Offensive zone draw. Casty goes to take the draw. And he controlled by the Otters Krine. He flips it out of that, gets through Ekron. Turns it back up the wall. Zender's there for the Otters. Neppel is able to take the puck from him. Played for Lopez. He gets a touch on it, no icing. Krine's got to hustle back. Him and Casty come together in the far side corner. Played back up the wall for McGinnis. He gets it back over to Zender. Has trouble with the pass, though. And then fans on his own pass attempt before regaining the puck. Lopez comes together with him, leaves for Casty. Casty steps inside him. Zender pokes the puck off of him. The Blades got to hurry. Again, a misplay by the Otters. Negated a potential 3-on-1 as the Blades were kind of caught in a change. Lopez spins off a McGinnis check. Puck played up to the line. Donahue fires one on. That's in traffic. Picked up by Peterson. Plays for Neppel. Neppel back across the ice. Into the skates of Lopez. Kicks it up to his stick. Takes his time meandering through the middle. Drives wide. Gets by Donahue. Left for Casty. Steps around to check. Plays the puck to Lopez. Steps out. Holds. Fires. Blocker save by Stenstrom. And that'll go out of play with 7:58 to go in the game at this point.
Yeah, Stenstrom wasn't fooled on that shot right there, as he was looking for that little 6-inch area right above the shoulder that a lot of goal scorers like to score a just bank shot off the goalie's helmet. He's able to shrug that one out.
So Brushard out there against Filkey. Filkey wins the draw clean to Showerman. He's boarded by McDonald. Puck comes around to Quinn Sheldon. He has a little bit of trouble. Dings himself up on the front of the Otter bench before it's turned back by the Blades. Johnson has trouble with it. He's knocked down by Brushard. Picks up the loose puck. Cuts wide on his backhand. Good recovery by Johnson to poke the puck off of him on a nice stick check. Now played back across for Filkey. He's got some room. McDonald puts him to the ice on a good back check. And it'll be played to the line. Kind of a dangerous shot that found its way through by Johnson. McDonald streaks down the left wing wall. Johnson will eyes him. He cuts back to the inside. Turns, fires. Knocked down by Filkey, who returned the favor from the hit earlier. Quick shot on. Stenstrom gobbles that up, and we'll get a whistle.
I don't mind that play right there by Mikey Peterson with that quick shot. Stenstrom's able to gobble it up, but you never know what you might do, catching a goalie sleeping right there, where that's an area where you typically don't see a shot.
We kind of saw it at both ends of the ice there as Johnson's shot from the point. Not a hard one, but kind of feathered it through, and tough to see at times. He had a nice rip there by Hoffman stepping down and firing a puck right off the faceoff. High one, hard one. Stenstrom had to glove that down. Puck will be controlled. Not out, though, by the Otters. Shot back in by Hoffman. Hard rim coming. Ritter and Ekron step down to hold the zone. Into the corner now. Ritter off the wall. Tries to get it to the net. Pushes up against Stenstrom. Gains his own rebound. Drives wide. Works it up to Hoffman. Hoffman, double clutch. Fires in. Steered away by Stenstrom. Ritter pokes it down for Ekron. Ekron tries to give and go. That doesn't connect. Donahue there. Picks the puck up. Fires it down. That'll go for an ice.
Yeah, their game plan's very simple, right? Gain possession down below the goal line and wings fly. So it's forcing our D guys to honor that. They're coming back and having to play man on them to tie them up. So they're able to get the puck out.
Puck went into the corner by the Otters. Played up the wall to McGinnis, and he misses the exit target, but it'll be controlled by Zender. Comes into the zone, stops short, looks to go across the zone. Nicely played by Hoffman, who saw McGinnis streaking to the net. Now Casti has trouble escaping the zone. Puck poked up to Neppel. He fires it in. Be played by Stenstrom. And now Casti behind the Otter net. Leaves for Lopez. Escapes a check and sends it back down behind the net. Sherman and Casti are battling. Again, the Blades is kind of ribbing that puck back and forth, trying to look for a little opening. Johnson and Lopez doing battle again. Puck play to the line. Shot on, loose puck. Shot to goal! Casti finds the rebound on the Charlie Ekron shot.
Beautiful shot by Charlie Ekron.
He waited and waited, found the lane, got it through. The initial save. Casti's there to bang in the rebound, and it's a 2-2 game with 5:41 to go in the third.
I absolutely love that play by Charlie Ekron. He has his head up the whole way, and the wing comes out to block the shot, and he just shoots around him. Stenstrom sees it, makes the initial save, but it's off to the side, and just Casti's opportunistic right there just to bank it home.
Big goal for the Blades to bring this game back to even. Does it look like the Otters maybe could just hang on here by kind of just chipping pucks out and playing the clock, but now we got a new ball game, so to speak.
17, Grayson Casti, assisted on the play by number 24, Charlie Ekron, and number 12, Jackson Lopez. That's Casti from Ekron and Lopez. Say it with me, Blades fans. That's good hockey.
Puck played over the glass by number 2, Caden Zender. And that was all the way as he missed, even the fans hit the back wall.
Typically you have to say heads up, but not in that puck because it's even over their heads.
So Blades, again, putting some pressure, kind of putting the Otters in a bit of a bind at times in their own zone. Casti line out now, squaring up against the Ilke line. Puck played behind the net. Casti there, grinds the puck along the end wall. Neppel there to help, picks up the loose puck, works it up high. Brewer back down for Lopez. Lopez off the wall, loads it up and fires. That's deflected out of play. His Otters doing a good job of staying in the shooting lane, not letting pucks get to the net very easily tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty gummed up there. That's a nice defensive play right there, but it'd been nice to see, maybe a quicker shot on net, or just let that area clear before you take that shot.
So we'll see the line matchups here with Coach Mike not being able to change, but takes the opportunity on the whistle to get his unit out against Blades' top unit. Casti in, fires. Big save, rebound goes just wide. Casti and Neppel were in on a 2-on-1. Now Casti strips a puck off of an Otter, plays into the corner. Centering attempt from Neppel, just misses Lopez. Otters having trouble getting out of their zone again. Now shot back in. Stenstrom plays it behind his own net to Shorman. Reverses ice to Johnson. He has trouble with it. Neppel's there. Soft chip to neutral. Will be played by Luke Johnson of the Otters. Played in on Gilbertson. He steers it to the corner. Chip backwards by Casti. Now comes to Lopez. Lopez back to Casti. He'll gain the red line and fire in and go for a change. Lopez continues on to put pressure on the puck. Johnson behind his own net for the Otters. Spins away from a Lopez check. And we'll play it up to Thielke. Thielke back to the middle. Well defended by Ekron. Now Brushard cuts to the inside. Drives wide. And that'll be offside as Lopez was over the line.
Oh, the captain wanted it. That's a good sign right there.
He was driving that. He was looking to dip that shoulder.
Get him the puck again here.
So now we'll see the Thielke line match up here against the Brushard line, because this is the matchup that Coach Mike Donahue looks like he wants. He doesn't want the mismatch of the top line against this unit. McDonald picks off a pass. Centered attempt comes right to Brushard. Puck laid there for a minute, picked up by Donahue. Poked off of him by McDonald. Now comes back to Tanner Donahue. He has Peterson all over him. Played up the line. That comes to Brushert. Gets it to the line. Luke Craig off the line. D to D. Ekron head up, looks, fires. Right along the ice. Steered away by Stenstrom. Comes back to him. Loads it up. Goes D to Craig this time. His turn. He fires. That hits Peterson. Loose puck. Brushert was tied up. Peterson centers. That's off of somebody. Brushert's taken down in front of the net.
All down.
It's prison rules inside in the high slot area there in front of the Otter net.
Apparently.
Filke tries to cut to the inside. Puck stripped off of him. McDonald with the puck. Cuts to the outside. Loses the puck momentarily. Played back for Lopez. He cuts around Quinn Sheldon. Win Sheldon, excuse me. Lopez to the net. Puck poked off of him at the last minute. That might have even been Stenstrom making the poke check as he was driving. Otters caught a change. And Johnson's going to shoot the puck down. That should be an ice, but it is waved off as Johnson was on the wrong side of the red, but apparently it was touched by a blade. Puck held in nicely by Shorman. Comes back to him on the wall. Send an attempt. Luke Johnson, dangerous as always in front of the net. Puck played but not out. Corralled by Johnson high in the zone. Turns, looking to make something happen. Loads one up, shoots wide. That'll come to Neppel. Him and Johnson come together on the near side wall. Now everybody's in there. Before Johnson for the Otters breaks away. Fires a Sharman. His shot is blocked. And now Lopez takes the puck. He looks like he's low on gas. He's going to dump it in. He played by Stenstrom. Comes right back to Lopez, though. Leaves low for Casti. Late in the shift. Minute 32 to go in the game. That's going to get through Peterson. Regroup to Brewer. Brewer catches the Otters in a bit of a change. Back over the line. Drives wide on Johnson. Looks to make a play. Cuts around the net. Had Stenstrom kind of almost in the corner there for a second. Thought he could have wrapped it, but he got help from his defenders. Now McDonald back in his own end. Got Win Sheldon in his face. Plays it back for Peterson. He's bear hugged. Poke checked off a Crine at the last minute. Lopez still on the ice. Finishes a man into the bench. Blades will regroup in their own end. Now Lopez goes for the change to fully complete the line change. Puck played back to the middle. Quinn Winchell puts one on the net. Knocked down by Peterson. He plays it back across the ice for his brother, and that'll be controlled by Filke. Saren attempt gets through Michael Peterson. Brushert plays it behind his own net with 22 to go. McDonald finally is just going to ice the puck. And we'll get a stoppage of 17 seconds as I don't know if the boys were out of energy there or what, but
yeah, they just got a little bit sloppy. It wasn't like Fergus was doing anything real special, but just couldn't quite catch the pass and get the puck off their stick in order to break out of their own end. A little bit of standing around.
So the two top units on the ice against each other here. Puck played in the corner. Hoffman plays it. Gives it a hard rim. It's going to come to Lopez. Chips it back up the ice for Casti. Played in by Zender off of Casti and into the penalty box. 7 seconds to go. Feels like we're headed to overtime at this point, Coach.
Yeah, well, you know what? Probably appropriate for how this has gone, but nice job by the Blades right there just to gain zone. So now you got a neutral zone face-off instead of a D zone face-off.
Puck will be controlled by the Otters. Off of a skate, comes to Neppel. He's got a chance. Can he load one up? Fires on. It's going to dribble wide as time runs down.
The 2-10 battle goes to overtime.
And it's a 2-2 game. Going to overtime. Shots 24-12 in favor of the Blades.
Yeah, as the game progresses on, you have to think that the favor goes to the Blades, but you don't want to sleep on any one of those guys for the Otters. You know, Luke Johnson, he's a big goal scorer. You give him any kind of time and space, he's going to make us pay. A couple other guys on their top unit definitely could be scoring, so they don't want to necessarily. Whoa, look at that, Sartell, 3-2. They have the lead over Northern Lakes. Do we have a time? 7:44 left in the third. Shots look pretty even too, so maybe Sartell isn't quite the evil giant that we all think. Because Northern Lakes is a team that at least this year going into after playing them last year and getting knocked out in the Section 6A semifinals, that's a team that I thought that we could have a chance at this year. It would be an outside chance, but watching how they played, the amount of players that they lost, how our unit could maybe respond, it's an outside chance that we could maybe compete against those guys. But Northern Lakes giving the rest of Section 6A hope tonight.
Yes, it's kind of refreshing that Sartell is not like you said, maybe to be as feared as we all thought. I imagine Northern Lakes is probably giving them their very best effort tonight too, and certainly things change a little bit when it comes down to tournament time as well. But I guess I did expect a little bit more of a lopsided score in that one, but that's good news.
Well, they probably did a fair amount of scouting heading into that game and strategized a structure that would be competitive to Sartell. I'm guessing that without watching, I think it's just a period of Sartell hockey this year. They're very fast, and they're going to want time and space, and if you can take it away from them and just play a very chippy physical game, you could have it probably play out in your favor.
Well, here we go. So overtime rules, 8 minutes of overtime, 5-on-5.
All right, hockey fans, we've got free hockey coming up. Let's play hockey.
So again, two top units squaring off. Brewer gets pressured by Zender off the opening faceoff, cuts to the inside shot. Dangerous look from number 2, Caden Zender.
Yeah, so they came out firing right there. They wanted to end the overtime game, or this overtime matchup, very quickly.
Face-off in the Blades zone. Controlled by the Blades. Peterson gives it a hard rim around to Lopez. Puck hits the shot on. Jeez, I can't even see what's going on here. So a shot from the blue line, hit one of the Blades in front. Puck laid there, rebound. Was forced away by Gilbertson as we see Lopez enter the zone. Shot on. Had Casti on the far side, steered away by Stenchum, so wide open here to start this thing, and we got a 2-on-1. Luke Craig's got to hurry. Brewer's got a man on the backside, gets it over to him. It's McGinnis shot. 2 big saves by Gilbertson as he stuffs McGinnis in all alone on the 2-on-1, and a nice play to get the puck to him. Sauce pass over Jackson Brewer's stick. So the Otters come out swinging. And they look fast all of a sudden. Puck played up to the line. Zender backhands it down. Played by Brewer. Up for Casti. Lopez in. Gets through him. He's got to hurry. Spins off a check. Works his way back up the wall. Sauces one back across for Ekron. He fires. Just misses wide. Shot on by Lopez. That was blocked away by Stenstrom. Played back into the corner for Casti. Centering attempt. Was going to come to Casti, but nicely broken up by Filkey. Now Craig fires one. That hits McGinnis in front, and he's going to ice it. And we'll get a stoppage here with 6:28 to go.
Yeah, it's important for those point shots to get through and not go wide, as you don't want to create any odd man rushes or easy zone exits for Fergus Falls and try to keep them pinned in their own end. But Fergus Falls came out swinging. They were trying to finish there in that first shift.
Must have been quite a pep talk by the bench boss over there.
Just giving it to him. He wants to get home.
Had the boys on fire. Puck will be controlled by the Otters. Played for Peterson. Works it back down low for McDonald. Gets it up to the line. Craig puts it back down low for McDonald. On the half wall. Shoots it down in deep. Peterson plays it there. McDonald tries to walk out. Forces his way to the front. Spins off a check. Now spins it back down low for Peterson. He's checked neatly by Donahue. Brusher picks up the loose puck. Works his way up high. Gets to Craig. Craig in trouble as he had Filkey all over him. Now played back down low by the Blades. Going to get through Peterson and wrap all the way around. Winch Sheldon plays it there. Now played across. Craig fires. Blocked by Crine. He ate all of that one. Big hit by Brushert. We're going to get a call here, and I don't know why. There was no knee involved. That's a hip check. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Did you see a knee?
Not really.
That's
I would have to
leaned,
look at it.
leaned out with his hip. It was a big hit, no doubt, and that can be dangerous to get hip to hip. I did not see him stick his leg out.
No, he didn't stick his leg out. I'm not sure exactly where the contact came in, but it didn't look like it was an intentional where you typically see a leg come out. And
I mean, that hurts, no doubt, to catch a hip check right in your upper thigh, but it was not a definite knee-on-knee where he stuck his leg out. He stuck his hip out on Filkey as they were both kind of changing directions.
yeah, so we saw that with Easton Nepple earlier this year against Morris Benson. He took one on the thigh and lost a lot of movement, probably in very similar pain as he had here. And there was no call in that play as well.
So we hope Filkey's okay, as that definitely can hurt. But this will severely hamstring the Blades here going back on the penalty kill.
Yeah, so all points have been scored on special teams tonight, and I think this is just the fourth special teams
Yeah, it's been
event.
a pretty clean game for the most part. So this is a tough position for the referee to be in because he probably feels like he can't let that go. And of course, the Fergus bench wants probably a major.
Sure.
And the Blades bench is saying we didn't think that was even a penalty. So it's a kind of a tough spot to be in. But it is just a 2-minute penalty on Isaiah Brushert for kneeing. Puck played to the front by Johnson, scrummed around. Gilbertson can't find it, still loose, and now we'll get a whistle.
Grayson Cassidy better be careful there. He doesn't want to cover up the puck in the crease. Because I believe
2-minute minor for kneeing.
I believe that's a penalty shot, isn't it?
If you cover the puck in your crease with
yeah.
your hand, it is an automatic penalty shot. Puck will be shot down by Jackson Brewer. Easton Nepple hard in on Caden Zender. Otters regroup. Donahue behind his own net with the puck. Works it over for Crine. Crine back across the ice for Johnson. Johnson attacks the zone wide. Pulls up, looks for help. Puck play to the line for Zender. Back for Donahue. He shoots, and that is tipped by Casty's stick high in the slot. Goes into the corner. Now Donahue holds at the line. Plays for Crine. Works it back across for Zender. Back to the middle. Donahue thinking about shooting. Plays back for Crine. Donahue loads one up, fires. That's seen all the way. I'm not sure what happened there because the puck was loose and into the Blades net. And that'll do it.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there. I think you just look at the reaction of the Blades players and they felt that it was a secured puck.
So there was a bit of a scrum. Gilbertson obviously thought it was covered. The referee said it wasn't. And it'll be a 3-2 Otter victory.
In a game that the Blades probably did almost everything they needed to in order to win, they come out on the losing side of maybe what could have been a questionable call here in overtime. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to look at the replay. But again, it's special teams play. A goal on a power play for the Otters to seal the deal in overtime. Something that's probably going to sour the Blades here as they think about Little Falls coming up here on Thursday.
Yeah, in a game, the Blades, well, they did all they could do. I guess the only thing you can do is stay out of the box as Otters scoring all 3 goals on special teams tonight. And the Blades getting the 1 power play goal and then the 1 even strength goal. And a tough way to end the game after a hard fought effort from the Blades tonight. And both teams played well. Both teams have some bright spots when you look to the future there. Some of the young players on the Fergus team, as well as some of the boys on the Blades who will be returning for next season. But a tough way to go out after they played so well. You hate to see this thing decided on a penalty in overtime, but that's the way it ended up.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Again, they have to stay out of the penalty box, and again, not sure again if that was a good call or not. The refs made it. They still had to make the Blades had to take care of business, and they didn't. It'll be interesting to see what happened there. Go back on the YouTube channel here and review how that puck eventually went in, as there was a scrum there at the end, and it appeared like everybody was done. Done playing, and that the puck was covered by the goalie, but apparently not.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and watch that penalty too. As in real time, it didn't look like it, but maybe those at home have already rewound. Again, we'll just have to see what it looked like. Evidently, it doesn't matter at this point, as it was called a penalty. And 3-2 win for the Otters is how it shakes out. So Blades out shooting the Otters 25-16 tonight, but again, being outscored 3-2 by the Otters. So good one tonight for both squads. Maybe tough one to swallow, I imagine, here for the Blades, but can still be. I don't know if they can build off this or not for Thursday. It doesn't matter. They got to show up Thursday and probably win that game if they want to be.
They're going to want to definitely show up. I mean, it's going to be their last chance for getting a decent seed, not being considered a 7 seed. They're going to have to definitely want to be the 6th seed. I guess I don't know what it looks like on the seeding side, but I don't know if you want to be 7 and you're playing Northern Lakes the first game, most likely.
Yeah, I think you want to do anything you can to avoid that 7th seed if you want to at least try to have a shot at making the second round. Not that they can't be Northern Lakes, but it's a tall order. Then you don't want to play the 1 or the 2 seed in the first round if you don't have to. I would like to see us play Prairie Center first
I would
game.
like that.
That would be a fun one after what happened last year. And I think that and 2 good contests this year with them.
Yes.
I think it would be fun. There's a little bit of natural rivalry building between those 2 programs. I think that'd be a fun one. Of course, Prairie Center would probably host that one, as we hosted last year. And I just think that would be a fun matchup. Or maybe Fergus again. Fergus gets a 3 seed, we get a 6. We get the 3-6 matchup playing Fergus Falls. I think that'd be a good one, especially after what we saw here tonight.
Yeah, you have to feel pretty confident about your chances in playoff hockey against a team that plays as defensive as and really no interest in trying to score and put pressure on scoring. So you could do a lot with what Fergus did tonight and make those adjustments and be able to be more creative in the offensive zone and putting pressure on there. So yeah, either one, I would love it. Like, you don't want to play teams that you've lost to twice, or teams don't want to play teams that they beat twice, especially in close games. It's not typically going to fare very well. So
no, it's always tough to beat a team 3 times.
Yes,
and I think we saw that. I think we saw that last year with Prairie Center, didn't we?
Yeah, we won all 3. We won all 3 because the first 2 went in overtime.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
and,
okay.
And
that's
was
tough to do.
I was nervous as all get up going in there because I'm like, oh, here we go. We're going to host our first quarterfinal, and Prairie Center's going to come in here and upset us. And the boys took care of business, but I think that's just a testament to the guys in the locker room that maybe night in and night out they're not they're not playing at the highest level, but when it matters most, they're coming to play.
So still late in the third here. Northern Lakes down 3-2 to Sartell. Stay tuned in the post-game show here, as we'll be hearing from head coach Adam Wurtsema in just a few after he makes some remarks to his team. And we'll get his thoughts on the game, and maybe we can ask him what he saw from the bench there on that penalty, and if he got any explanation or not. And just to pick his brain on how he thought the game went tonight.
Yeah, I think coach should, be pretty confident in the way his guys played. Maybe there's some execution things that he wants to clean up, just that could net into some goals in the offensive zone. But, from a standpoint of playing defense and good, sound defense, you gave up a power play, or you gave up a goal on the penalty kill. You gave up a goal on kind of an errant pass on, from the when we were on the power play. So you take away that goal, we're not even going into overtime.
Right.
That should have been a 2-1 victory, and then you give up the game winner in overtime on trying to kill a penalty. So 5 on 5 looked good.
I thought so too. Well, I got to run because I got to get on the ice for practice. So I'll leave you to it, and we'll hear from producer Tony because he's got. He doesn't like that idea. We'll let him ask some questions to head coach in just a few here. And all right, I will see you guys later.
Yeah, we'll just do a quick recap here. So, Blades losing or falling to Fergus Falls 3-2 tonight here in overtime. They got Little Falls coming to town. Blades beating Little Falls 3-2 on the road earlier this year, and then River Lakes. They have to head to River Lakes for on Friday to close out the season. Not sure when the seedings will come out, but that's something that we can ask the coach here when he shows up here. He is just stepping up right now.
Right here.
Coach Wertzema.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Would have liked to go in overtime.
Oh yeah, I know that was. Hey, from our perspective, it was a great game. You kind of gave up a fluky goal on a power play. I always miss everything to my left because the camera's right here, so I didn't quite see the play. But anyways, a 5 on 5, you have to be happy with the squad and how they played tonight. Really kind of gave Fergus fits, and we looked like the faster, better team in so many facets. It was just the special teams game at the end that really cost us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the effort the guys gave tonight. That's for sure. I think we had a lot of grade A scoring chances. How did they not go in the net, right? But the penalty kill wasn't good tonight. We obviously gave up that shorthanded goal, and those things. You do those things, it's tough to win. Our forecheck was great. Down low, our forwards worked so hard. They worked. We went high to low. We got a lot of opportunities at the net, and that's just the way the game goes sometimes. But you know what? The effort was really good, and that's one thing I think we've struggled at sometimes, game in and game out. And I thought for the how many minutes that overtime was, we gave a good 56, 57 minutes of that game, I thought. So the guys are down, but you know what? I think it's something we can build on. We have a practice tomorrow, and we come back on Thursday against Little Falls, which that's going to be probably every game's the biggest game of the year, so.
Yeah. Tony just showed me this, and we were tracking this all night. Sartell beat Northern Lakes 3-2 tonight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, shots are pretty even. It's one thing that we were following just as a Section 6A matchup, but I figured the way the scores have been coming in all year with Sartell, that it was going to be a much bigger gap. But that should make things really interesting. I think on that topic, as we wind down, when is all the seedings going to come out? Because I think it's next Tuesday, a week from tonight, when the first round of the playoffs are, correct?
Yeah, so tomorrow evening, Wednesday, we will have our coaches Zoom meeting where we go in and talk about our seasons. And then we have a big game on Thursday with Little Falls, and I do believe there's other section games that night. So everyone will take those games into account for how they will vote, and the votes will be in Friday morning, and then we should know probably around Friday around noon what our outlook will be for the section tournament. But I think we're playing good hockey right now. I think if we can get a good first round draw here, get some confidence and have a good game there, you never know. So I think the guys should feel good about themselves, and we should turn the page quick on this, because it was a game I felt like we deserved a better fate, but that's how sports go sometimes.
Yeah, I think the guys came in. I think it really their hustle looked like it was a playoff atmosphere, right?
And Fergus plays they're smart with the puck. When they get into trouble, they're good at chipping pucks out and getting out of trouble. So I was glad we were able to generate as much as we did against them. You need to take care of the penalty kill and that one error we make on the power play, and that's the difference. And we're learning that. Our team. I don't think we've had maybe one game where it was out of reach this year. You look in the past. There's a lot of games that are out of reach by the middle of the second period. I mean, this year we've game in, game out have had 51 minutes where, there's a chance we could win every game, So I think our team is maturing. We're growing. We're learning that, those little things matter. Take care of the little things, big things take care of themselves. And I think we learned a lot about ourselves tonight. So, and that's in a good way, not a bad way. Yeah. So,
John and I were just talking here briefly before you stepped on here. It's looking more and more how everything shapes out, that there's a strong chance, at least in our opinion, that we could be playing either Prairie Center or Fergus Falls in that first round. And I can't imagine either team really wants us showing up at their doorstep in the first round of the playoffs.
No, it would be a heck of a hockey game. I know that. And, another team you probably want to stay away from is Little Falls because they got that goaltender who can shut it down. And in the postseason, it's tough to score when you have a goaltender who can just shut it down. That can get in kids' heads real fast. But, I think, we've had great games with Fergus. We've had great games with Prairie Center. We had a great game with Wilmer. I think if we just got to stay away from that 7th seed and hopefully get a 6 or a 5, I think that's the best case for us. But, we'll go wherever we have to go. We'll play whoever we have to. But we got 2 games here to still improve our game, sharpen our sword a little bit here in these last 2 and keep it going.
Well, good luck for the rest of the season, and good luck on Thursday night against Little Falls in the last Section 6A game.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thanks. That'll be it for tonight. We're going to wrap up this session here, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for our sponsors for supporting the Blue Line Club. We're able to, provide food and equipment and other things for the hockey organization, for the high school hockey organization. So thanks again for tuning in and for the sponsors, and we'll see you on Thursday night.